to London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavioral therapist, that's a CBT therapist, and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. I'd love to start by giving my respects, my condolence to the 4 victims, Kaylee, Zana, Ethan, and Maddie, and their families for the terrible loss. I hope they're getting the counseling they need. I hope they're getting help from friends, family, and loved ones.
He was a triplet, and looking through the pictures, he said, like you said, they seem to be always together. I mean, did they all go to high school and then college together also?
Elementary, high school, everything, college, they all went to the same university. Yeah, I mean, everything. We travel, we play, we hike, everything we do is all of us together. I mean, we're a pretty tight family.
Did you say that they were the ones that called you about this happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
So at 2 a.m., Hunter Chapman and Maisie called their parents and informed them that Ethan was unalived. Or did they do that the next day? They must have done that immediately.
You say that they were the ones that called you about this happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty traumatic when there's 4 dead college students who have been stabbed to death in one location.
The coroner saying today autopsies have been completed and the victims suffered extensive wounds after being stabbed multiple times with a large knife. Investigators now working to determine if the victims had defensive wounds or may have gotten the suspect's DNA on their bodies.
Well, looking to see if there are some clues that are on them. So some of the suspects' blood perhaps, or something under somebody's fingernails.
The coroner saying the autopsies have found the time of death sometime after 2 a.m. Investigators now reviewing this video, which they say shows 2 of the victims in a food truck just hours before the murder. Police also confirmed 2 other roommates were home and unhurt at the time of the murder and are actively cooperating with the investigation.
We're not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
There's no sign of forced entry at the home. They think this was a targeted attack and are still searching for the murder weapon.
Threat to the community.
Meanwhile, a community in mourning.
Just because there's so many people here in this area who know them and love them, and we just want to shine a light on them.
While a mass murder is still on the loose. Gotta get the suspect's DNA on their bodies.
Well, looking to see if there are some clues that are on them. So some of the suspects' blood perhaps, or something under somebody's fingernails.
The coroner saying the autopsies have found the time of death sometime after 2 a.m.
Welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to discuss about the first autopsies, the coroner report, and a bit of the crime scene for a reason. I personally believe that the timelines were changed on purpose, especially Ethan and Zana's timeline was the one that got everyone confused and distracted from the big picture. Let's not forget that. The Sigma Chi fraternity boys were under the microscope. They were under investigation. There was at least like 9 Idaho State police vehicles outside the fraternity. You heard the officer was talking to Emily, the detective who was interviewing Emily Ant, that is Zana's friend and Josie's friend, Hunter Johnson's girlfriend. He said, one advice I would give you is listen to the rumor mill. The rumor mill doesn't mean that you have to listen to everything, every rumor that comes out. But I've always said from the beginning up to today, it is important to follow whether there were speculations or rumors coming out from the college from the very beginning. Now we have a detective. The detective was interviewing one of the 911 callers, Emily. He told her, listen to the rumor mill. The rumor mill was saying that Katie and Maddie were at the Corner Club. Alvira confirmed that to us. Strangely enough, this looks like the Corner Club. If it's not somewhere else, it could be. I don't think there are many restaurants in Little Moscow. But coming back to the timelines. If you listen to the rumor mill was saying, 4chan Anonymous said, at 2:15, there was rummaging upstairs and the surviving roommates thought it was the Sigma Chi fraternity boys. What I personally believe is DM and BF were told to go to Bethany Funky's room, to shut the door, lock the door, and keep it down. I'm sure they were told not to even text each other. But that's when they went wrong. Because let's not forget, they had plenty to drink. They came from parties. It was a non-stop. It was like a rave, like a carnival. Not a carnival, but a rave. A 3-day concert that was going on with the vendors, everything. So these people were really partying. Anyone could have slipped a Mickey into their drinks, a roofie. And I've always said I believe that Maddie and Zana came home safely. I believe Eric Gower works with DM at least that night, or maybe with David Lodge and the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, allegedly, it's all alleged, and the Jacks. Maybe, just maybe, I've mentioned that plenty of times, Eric Gower got the text message from DM at 2:10, a very important timing, as a code, some kind of signal. Like, when you say the coast is clear, like everything is cool. Green flag, come true. Eric Gower could have been involved. Why would DM want the Grub truck food when she herself could have gone much earlier? Okay, the college students. She wanted a grub, a bite. Just say, this woman just wanted some food. Or the college student, she's having some munches. She would have done that earlier. Why do it so late? She knew that Kaylee and Maddie were at the Grub truck. Why did she text them and say, hey, by the way, on your way back, give me whatever you're having, I'll give you the money back, or get me this and this and that. That didn't happen because Eric Gower was a signal, I believe. Eric Gower was told, possibly. I've always told y'all there was something about Taylor Avenue, and you'll have seen my clip of Maddie's coat that I discovered behind the fire extension. The second person who ever spoke about it was Chris McDonough. And I appreciate giving credit to people. Chris was after me. He was the second person. And Chaos Sector gave me credit for that. But other people are just using it under fair use, without fair use purpose, not giving credit like Chaos Sector gave me. Shout out to KS Sector. Excellent work. Watch all the clips. We both have the same theory of the Sigma Chi fraternity, at least, and the frats. So the one that y'all saw, wherever y'all see it, the one of the black coat, Maddie's black coat behind the bushes, KL Sector helped me out really because they did excellent work of finding that there was something in the coat itself. So I believe that's whatever was in the coat, and Maddie's black coat was pulled out of Maddie, dragged out to Maddie. She could have been taken back to the house, dragged back down the house, but she managed to reach Taylor Avenue. Or she could have been brought back by Taylor Avenue, from Taylor Avenue later. Because I've showed you, many people are behind these bushes. No matter what light we see it with, there is some truth to the reflections. Not everything, but a lot of it is there. I've always said to focus on that alleyway. So nothing has changed. The strange thing is, after everything that is coming out from the documents, I didn't know, my subscribers, how the documents make you feel. I've heard you all in the comments. Shout out to all your comments. I'll be getting back to them. But I can see you all are not pleased with the reports. You all are wondering what the hell is happening. Why isn't the correct people being arrested? So am I. So am I. That's why every time I read a document, it makes me go back to one of my clips. Automatically, it's like a light bulb comes on. Okay, Maddie, we're searching for Murphy. Where was Kaylee? Kaylee knew that Maddie was intoxicated. Would she leave her intoxicated friend with a dog? These two girls loved each other to death. Don't believe the hype when people say they fell off. No, they did not fall off. Although Kaylee was studying from home, they were in good contact, according to what I've heard from the uni. They were in good contact. They were tight, solid as a rock. What happened? Taylor Avenue. I think Maddie ran towards Taylor Avenue. For all you know, she came out to the house. She must have heard Murphy barking, somebody, Lord Murphy, and then she saw maybe Murphy running towards Taylor Avenue. I've always seen something in the bushes that looked like Murphy behind in Taylor Avenue that I've shown you. I'll go back to all my clips from the beginning and check. There's something that looked yellow golden. It's a golden doodle. It did look like him. And the person who had him looked very blurred. But I'll make a clip of that. So I won't be surprised if Murphy ended in Taylor Avenue. They lured him there, and then Maddie was lured in the bushes or dragged back home. Because between 2:30 to 3:30, Maddie knocked at Bethany Funk and asked Bethany Funk, have you seen Murphy? 2:55, when we hear a female yelling, stop it, stop, from the police body cam. I believe it's these two, one of these two Poor girls. This was all pre-planned, in my opinion, by the fraternities, by the sororities. Saw the sororities, the fraternities at the Grub truck, watching pictures. Before Kaylee and Maddie came, Molly Gray, Liz Catovich, they all were hanging around there. There wasn't any Emma Bailey there. But you had Peyton, you had number 9, number 8, Jovito. They all were staging it. The plan was under focus. The plan was not only in focus, it was playing out. They were rolling their cameras from the Corner Club to the Grub truck to when Maddie and Kaylee were walking with Jack Schwalter to the Grub truck. Eric Gower could have been working with them, in my opinion. Working with whoever was behind this awful crimes. Maybe David, the Davids and the Jacks. Possibly, in my opinion. Why is this young man with that woman recording or taking pictures of Kaylee and Maddie on his phone? Wonder why. Now these three, Jovito, Hayden with the long hair and cap, standing near Jovito, and the girl. She's not Jack D's sister at all. She wasn't at the Grub truck that night. That's the thing with rumors, they just spread so quickly, and then it's hard to burn it down. Like the Grub truck rumor of Enon. It's sad because Enon has said it in each and every interview. He knows the FBI and the police are watching him. Why would he be lying that he was at the Grub? He wasn't at the Grub truck. If he was, Emma Bailey wasn't at the Grub truck. More like she was at Linda Lane. I have watched the Grub truck over thousands of times. You all have seen how many videos I've analyzed about it. I've studied it, taking my time. That's how I know Enon and Emma, those two wouldn't even be together. What would bring them together is the question. Besides Rugg, since he has a criminal conviction and since she walked away with charges. Yes, Enon, I think it's strange. Enon's a bit fishy with certain things, but he wasn't at the Grub truck. Now coming back to Kaylee, which is interesting. Enon said that Kaylee, he liked Kaylee. He liked all of them, but Kaylee was the one he spoke to. He said he gave her half a bottle of red wine. Why would a grown man be giving young college students wine? Is one question, but who knows? Why is this guy recording Kaylee is my question. And Kaylee and Maddie were yelling, "Stop it, stop." That's when they were attacked. And I believe one of them was definitely attacked near Taylor Avenue, where the figures were running. And I believe this happened right after the figures ran home. Look at all these people on their phones. Look at these three. Hayden, the girl in the white jacket, and not Showalter, but Jovito. Look at these three near Maddie. They're having a laugh at Maddie. What could they have done to Maddie and Kaylee at the Corner Club? The girls didn't seem only intoxicated. They seemed like something happened. Seems like some plans was going on. Something was going to happen. Showalter already warned them. You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. That sentence will never be forgotten. Those 2 sentences. Look at this guy. If you look behind Kaylee, you will see Hayden, the guy at the Grub truck, who was standing next to Joe Vito. Was it just a coincidence that Hayden, Joe Vito, and the girl in the white jacket that Hayden was carrying, who's standing next to him? Could it be a coincidence that they all were just near Kaylee and Maddie, laughing when number 9 was putting something up Maddie's mouth, in my opinion? Let me know.
Hi, I'm Riley. I was really good friends with Kaylee. Anyways, yeah. Anyone who knew Kaylee would tell you the same thing. To know her was to love her. Her love for life and everyone in it was so inspiring. She made it a priority to make everyone feel so important and so loved, which is such a very rare and beautiful trait. I found a quote that reminds me of her. She embodied her own sunshine, and that's when her skies became limitless. And that's the thing. Kaylee's skies were limitless. She had a drive and a passion for life. That everyone looked up to. She never said no. She was a yes girl. I remember meeting Kaylee for the first time in high school, and we immediately clicked. Soon after, we spent the whole summer together. We would make such spontaneous plans together. I remember she called me one day, just a random day, during the summer back in 2019, telling me, not asking, saying, hey, be ready in an hour. We are renting paddle boards. We're going to spend the day on them. And, that's something that I really adored about her spontaneity. We became the best of friends that summer. When it was time to go to U of I, Kaylee and I made plans to join the same sorority. Although we are not technically supposed to try to plan out what sorority we're going to join, we did. Bid day in 2019, Kaylee and I both ran home to Alpha Phi, which made us not only best friends, but sisters. We made so many friends and took on college together. Our sophomore year, I remember Kaylee coming into my room just weeks before spring break, like 2 or 3 weeks before spring break, saying to me, hey, let's go to Cabo for spring break. Can you make it happen? Oh, sure enough, we made it happen. Kaylee, I, and 2 of our really close friends, Zoe and Josie, flew down the California Peninsula on a date. For the best vacation to date. She was so go with the flow and wanted to do everything on that vacation. The 4 of us were unstoppable on that trip. These are memories that Zoe, Josie, and I will cherish forever with her. Kaylee had a light in her, and it's our job to keep that light burning. We should focus on living like her, never saying no, loving everybody, and taking every chance that may come in our paths. I'm so blessed to have had you by my side all these years, Kaylee, and I promise to live I promised to live just like you did. Fly high in those limitless skies, Kaylee, my sweet friend. Hi, I'm Jordan. I was one of Kaylee's close friends. I don't even know where to start when it comes to talking about Kaylee. The person she was and wanted to be, the plan she had, and impact that she made on everyone's life. Kaylee and I had so many plans. We were planning to move together in June, and we finally, and I say finally, because it took us about 7 months to decide on a place, but we finally decided on Austin. If you were to ask us why we chose Austin, neither of us really could tell you. Our friends just simply got tired of us talking about it and forced us to decide. We talked about Boston, Nashville, San Diego, Charlotte, and even Knoxville, Tennessee. That was our biggest problem. She wanted to go everywhere and anywhere, and I was the same way. She wanted to go everywhere and anywhere, and I was the same way. She wanted to see the world, and I was right there by her side. We often joke that someone could point to a place on a map and say, move here, and we simply would. One time I sent her a TikTok, and the person moved to Greece, and I said, let's do it. And she said with complete seriousness, well, I'm down. Kaylee and I shared something special. A need to experience life to the fullest. I shared something special. A need to experience life to the fullest. We told each other time and time again that wherever we ended up, as long as we are together, we will have the best time, and I know that stays true. That was the thing about Kaylee. She lived life, and not in the sense that we were living every day. She truly 100% lived life to the fullest. And for that, I am so honored and proud to have been a part of her life. Anything, and I mean anything we would do, she would turn into an adventure, a memory, a time where we laughed and nothing else in the world mattered. Something that we would have fun doing, even if it was going to Walmart to get a bottle of wine. We would have a blast doing it. I have a lot of favorite times and memories with Kaylee that it's hard to narrow down. I mean, we studied for our praxis for months together, and it was the most miserable time, but also one of my most favorite times to look back on. If I had to pick one of my most cherished memories we have, it is the itinerary we made. So it was the week before finals, and me, her, and the other member of our trio, Cass, had so much to do, and we all decided to study day and night during the week to finish everything we had to do the following week. I mean, we did everything. We were even emailing our professors asking if we could do assignments and tests early. We grinded, and somehow the three of us finished and had all of finals week free, so we made the most of it. We sat down one night and planned every day out, and sure enough, followed through with it all. It was jam-packed with plans, but we didn't want to miss out on anything, and we wanted to create memories and live our last finals week in Moscow all together as best as we could. That's the kind of person Kaylee was. She wasn't letting life go by. She was living life to the fullest. Kaylee was a very special person. Kaylee was a very special person. She brought everyone and anyone out of their comfort zone and was the brightest light in everyone's life. To know Kaylee was to truly love Kaylee. She was everyone's go-to girl, down for anything, and the most selfless and kind person I had the pleasure of knowing. It breaks my heart that we won't be able to live out our dreams together. But for Kaylee, I will continue to live in capital letters. I will live in New York for us because that was a dream. I will travel all the places we wanted to travel, and I will continue to say yes and turn the smallest things into an adventure, because that's exactly how Kaylee would want me to live. Kaylee, you will never be forgotten. We will live right for you every day with your mentality in our mind. We love you so much.
So Kaylee's close friends, Jordan and Riley, told us a lot about Kaylee. Kaylee seemed to be a person who loved her life, loved adventure, happy, kind person. What was happening with Kaylee before she was unalived? There was changes. Kaylee was studying from home. Kaylee allegedly had a stalker. Jack D's professor was concerned for him because of his breakup with Kaylee. There's a lot of changes going on. Kaylee had problems, issues with the sororities in the pandemic time. How far did that go? Why was Liz Katovich and Molly Gray from the Alpha Phi, or if I got the sorority's name right, I think it's Alfie. Why were they at the Grub truck and they did not say hi to Kaylee? Kaylee was taking a clear picture of Molly Gray and the guys and Shawalter and Javito who was behind her. I believe somebody was jealous of Kaylee. This was all the fraternities, sororities, everyone who had personal beef. I'm not saying these two girls, and I'm not saying any specific person, but fraternities and sororities should give you a clue. I've never changed my opinion in that. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe.